Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh, hello there. Yeah, that's the last stream of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Welcome to Nerd Avengers Tower. Whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, Tweeters, Kick, what up? And welcome into the stream. You know, I was originally gonna try to not really talk too much about the news and the updates this week. I was like, you know what, maybe we'll just do like a looking forward to 2024 thing. I think we're gonna end up doing that on Monday now because yeah, I had a little change of heart. I basically was like, you know what, it's the last stream of the year. Why not, for one final time in 2023, why not take a look at the current state of our favorite nerdy things, okay? We like Star Wars around here. We like DC. We like Marvel. And there's updates and conversations happening in all of these different fandoms. There's a lot of news out there, a lot of crazy stuff to get into. So I figured, you know, for one last time, let's talk about this nerdy shit. So that's what we're going to do today. Hope you all are doing well. I want to know, just before we get into any of the craziness and we start getting into all the news and everything like that, how you guys feeling, man? It's kind of the end of the year. What a weird year, right? What a weird year. But the year is wrapping up. Looking forward to 2024. It's almost weird to say that. You know what I mean? Like, does anybody else feel like looking at 2024 and you see that date and you're like, no way. There ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. What happened? What happened to 2023? What happened to 2022? Honestly, what happened to 2021? I feel like in some ways we're all still in 2020. Very, very weird times. But, you know, I think at the end of the year, I mean, look, I like the end of the year. I like the holiday season. I like that kind of stuff. I like it when everything kind of slows down a little bit. And for me personally, there's a lot of thoughts of, you know, what do I want to do next year? What do I want to do differently next year? You know, this sort of change, turning over one leaf into the other. This time of year is really interesting. So generally feeling good. It is weird, but I feel good. And I'm excited about next year. I'm making some New Year's resolutions. I've been kind of thinking a lot about that. So I wonder, like, what do you guys think? Like, what do you think about this year? But also, do you have any cool New Year's resolutions? Are you still working on that? Like, what are your thoughts on all of that, Chad? I want to know. I want to know how you're feeling. And also, I did initiate the gambling. So for those of you that are watching on other platforms, maybe I'll try to figure out if I can do this on Twitch as well for you guys over there. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so we have this like kind of like reward like system. Basically, the more you engage, the more you super chat, the more you hang out, you get nerd coin. And then on Fridays we gamble with the nerd coin. So let me just drop. I'll just drop like 10,000 nerd coins to everybody watching right now. And I do want to look into that and see if we can get it to work for Twitch. And I'm also going to try to get the, I know we're eligible for monetization on Twitch. I just haven't done it yet, but I'm going to try to do it so that we start 2024 strong. So that we start it strong. Still waiting for the Professor Josh to make a comeback after rating the Mando Season 2 trailer. Was that one of those like characters I was trying to do of like the variants and stuff like that? That's wild. Wow, Brownie 78. That is very tough. My goodness. My heart goes out to you on that, man. Where is my flying car? Oh, yeah, no, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about the flying car. See, this is the only thing I don't like about gambling is it completely takes over chat. You know what I mean? Still waiting to get a single nerd coin drop. Yeah, you know, have heard, I haven't actually looked into this, but somebody told me the support for Streamlabs is like better than it's ever been. So it's possible, like, I'm going to reach out to them and see if I can fix that. I still don't really understand why some of you guys just don't get the coin at all. And a lot of you guys do. Call-ins? Yeah, I'm going to do some call-ins today. Look, one thing that I'll say, I've been thinking a lot, like I said, you know, the holidays, everything kind of slows down, you get retrospective, and you do a lot of thinking, right? So we're going to do a lot of changes next year. I haven't completely figured out what all of those are. One of them, though, is probably no more call-ins on public streams. Okay, so I've been thinking a lot about this. I instead want to do more town hall type things with the members, where like a specific night we have an open forum where I get to hear a lot of your guys' thoughts and things of that nature. So that's one of the things, is we're going to probably move call-ins off of a public stream into more behind the scenes stuff. One of the things I really want to do next year is like do a lot more stuff just for the members in the community. But it's complicated. So I think like we're going to move the streams, because every Tuesday we do a members only stream, and it's at that same time. It's at that 11 a.m. time. We're going to change that. We're going to move that to like 7, and there'll be longer streams. So like Tuesday nights are now going to be like community hangout nights. And I want to do a lot more stuff like book clubs, watch parties, more, you know, like I said, maybe once a month we'll dedicate one of those Tuesday nights, or at least part of one of those Tuesday nights, to call-ins where we chat with everybody, you know, really get to hear from you guys and really have an open forum. So in my mind, kind of the way I'm thinking about it is some stuff works for content, entertainment, algorithm stuff, YouTube stuff, right? And some stuff just kind of doesn't. It's unfortunate that that's the case, but some stuff doesn't. So I want to move some of that stuff, just, you know, put it there for the people that pay, for the people that support the channel, the members. I want to really do a lot of cool stuff and valuable stuff for them, and move it off of like the public, you know, stuff. You know, that's just kind of some of the stuff I've been thinking about. Literally listen to you drop coin for the last weeks, and I'm still nerd broke. Yeah, I'm going to try to figure that out, man. I am going to try to figure that out. Damn, evenings are tougher for me to get there. We could do a poll of the members to see if it works for everybody. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it'll probably never be perfect, right? And there's always going to be some people that time doesn't work for, and some that it does. And we can always change things. Like, for instance, we could do split it. We can split the difference. 2 weeks at night, 2 weeks in the morning. I'm probably okay or comfortable with that. There's a lot of stuff that we could kind of talk about with that. But I think regardless of, like, let's not get lost in the weeds. The point is, a lot of changes next year. That's something I'm thinking about and something that we're going to do. But I haven't seen any of your resolutions. Maybe I've been a little distracted. But what's your New Year's resolutions, or like what, you know what I mean? I haven't seen you guys talk about this year a little bit. You know what I mean? Like what's going on with this year? How would you guys, let's start here. How about this? This is a good direct way to begin. If you had to give this year a score out of 10, what score are you giving it? What score out of 10 are you giving this year? Resolutions are silly. I mean, I can see both sides of it. I really want to make it to 2025. Yeah, 2025 would be great. Okay, let's see here. 2, 7.4, 3, 2. Yeah, I hear you on that, Veed. 8, 7, 5 out of 10, says Perilous Pogo over on Twitch. What's up, Twitch? I see you. Why can't I scroll? Bro, this multi-stream chat is so stupid on Streamlabs. I kind of can't believe it. 4, 4, 6, 5, 8. Yeah, it kind of seems like some people had a good year. This year for my personal gets a 9. That's great. Vito says 3 out of 10. I hear you. Josh, do you think Cal could be Obi-Wan's bro? know personally, but sure. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily hate it. 75310 personally. Donnie, my man. I don't know how I would rate the year. So here's what's kind of interesting about my year, right? Difficult year in terms of the content itself, meaning I just real talk, like Marvel kind of stunk the place up. Star Wars continued to be Star Wars. DC was actually, I mean, kind of fine, I guess. It just kind of died in the corner or underneath the table. Like it hid. DC's like that dog that hides underneath the floorboards and the porch to go die in a dark, quiet place. So DC didn't really bother me too much, and I don't really spend a lot of time covering DC that much. Anyways, although we are going to today. So on the one hand, like, it was a difficult year. Like, I kind of can't believe how bad the year was for Marvel. And on Wednesday, we went over all of my predictions going into 2024. Some of it I kind of called, but like, for instance, Secret Invasion, I just couldn't have anticipated how bad Secret Invasion was going to be, not only like as a show, but for the brand and for the fandom. Quantumania, horrible. The Marvels, I actually had fun with the Marvels movie. I feel like I say that and people just completely ignore it because I just then go on to talk about how it was like this super big failure. It was a big black eye on the entire Marvel brand. And it's like, you can't, I don't know. But yeah, so on the one hand, it was an absolutely awful year. But on the other hand, there was like a lot of stuff that I accomplished this year that I'm really proud of. And I was able to move the content into a good direction. We did several videos this year that were massive, big numbers that we technically hadn't hit in a couple of years. So a couple of like 300K plus videos, one that was like 650, some massive videos. So, I feel good about that. I feel like my craftsmanship as a YouTuber has gotten really good. And also, of course, like Unity and getting Unity funded and really diving into comics and really getting into comics, I don't know. I'd have to say, like, overall, I'd give the year like a 9 out of 10, man. Like a 9 out of 10 for me. So, but weird. You know what I mean? Like a 9 out of 10 with a huge asterisk on it. Like, this shit was weird. So that's kind of how I would explain it. Blessed is Adam for his new child. Oh, did Adam get have another one? He's gonna have, what has he got, 3 now? Dang, bro. Josh, let's get hyped for Aquaman 2. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? Keck Mac 0823 says, great job this year, Josh. I will become a Nerdvenger in 2024. Let's go. Hey, baby. Appreciate you. I had fun watching Brie Larson fail. Yeah, I mean, a little toxic, but we'll allow it. Yeah, I think oh man. We're gonna get into some shit today. Which one hit 650? That would be the ending of Loki. The video that we did explaining the ending of Loki hit like 650. I think the last time I checked it, it was around there. And that, like, to me, that was really interesting because, number one, I think it was a great video. But number two, and maybe more to the point, more important, is that was a big fucking deal for Marvel. Like, again, we don't talk about it a lot, but that finale of Loki was number 1 on the originals Nelson's chart and hit number 4 on the originals. Like, that was a massive episode. We hadn't had a big moment like that in Marvel in a long, long time. So it kind of shows, like, dude, like, people will give a shit about Marvel and really care, not only for the episode, but for, like, the ancillary content, like what we do here on YouTube. But they got to get their shit together. Like, there's just a lot of, like, I can only do so much. You know what I mean? Like, I can only do so much. If they are degrading the brand, making a bunch of goobly glob crap that nobody really cares about, there's not too much I can personally do. You know? So that was like a really interesting kind of like, oh shit, like there's still that ability But at the end of the day, like it's some of it's not. It's just out of my control, you know. It's out of my control. So yeah, I don't know. I'd have to say like a 9 out of 10. But I also like don't want every year to be like this. Like I'm hoping that next year is different and better and you know, more successful for us all, because I think one of the things that kind of happened this year was dude, economy, money, times is tough, man. You know, and I know there's a lot of like raising of interest rates and doing stuff to try to like combat inflation, and inflation was crazy this year. So man, it's felt like even we've definitely felt it. And, you know, that pressure is just no good. And so, like, I would love for that pressure to subside. The Abeloth video was huge. Yes, that one was huge as well. Yeah. You forgot to say we like Warhammer. Wait, what? I mean, we love Warhammer over here. Everybody in chat loves Warhammer, right? I mean, hey, if you guys want to just turn it into a Warhammer stream, I'm open to it. You know, if that's the way you guys want to go with it, we could do that. You know? So does anybody have any resolutions? And I know some of you guys are like, resolutions are silly. Resolutions are dumb. I mean, I've kind of heard that before, and I've personally felt like that as well. But I don't know. My opinion on it has kind of changed a little bit, where I think cycles are natural. And I think the cycle of like winding down and then going into rebirth is natural. And I actually think it's appropriate at a time like that, when a cycle is changing, to have a different mentality. You know what I mean? So I actually do think resolutions are good and cool now. That's the take. A good election year, good luck. Yeah, that's true. We'll see. We'll see how all that goes. I mean, it's aiming up to be pretty wild already. Kill procrastination. That's a good one. 20 chicken wings at Publix is $16 now. Yeah, that's crazy. Because you know what? That's even reasonable compared to some places. Health and happiness. That's good. Learn to cook is my #1 resolution. That's a good one, man. That's cool. To be more productive. Nice. To play the finals more often. Is it pretty dope? I like Warhammer, but I'm poor, so I can't get into it. Well, you can get into the lore. You can get into some of the books. You can also play on TTS, this tabletop simulator. So you don't even need an army. You just need to like learn how to play that simulator. And then you could do it. I want to stop smoking weed by June. Okay. There you go. Big Glenn was gifted. Oh, damn. What up, Big Glenn? Getting gifted memberships. Stop procrastinating at work and spend less money on myself. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think my first resolution is to be less combative. That's my first resolution. And I've been having this thing lately where, like, you know, chat, tell me if you can relate to this. I think most of the arguments and the people I see on Twitter are so dumb. They're so fucking dumb. But then I end up wanting to argue with them. So it's like I see all these arguments, I see all these people, I see all these hot takes, and I see all this, like, you know, rage bait. And I'm like, I'm so fucking mad about this. I'm so fucking mad about the fact that everybody's so triggered, and that's getting me triggered. And now I need to comment on all this shit because I'm fucking triggered. That's dumb. Right? I want to smoke more weed by June. It's all about balance, baby. It's all about balance, you know? Yeah, so I have this thing where I think everybody getting triggered about like culture war issues or political issues or like this, that, second, and the third. Like, I feel like it's very stupid, but I've come to realize that getting triggered by it is just as stupid, and I need to like let it go. Need to be able to let it go. Need to be able to understand where people are at. Need to not get so triggered that I make it an unpleasant experience for people So that's like my number one thing, is to be less combative. You know, it's not that I won't chime in on things. It's not that I won't state my opinion, but I'm going to try to be less combative. Okay. By the way, that doesn't start until Monday. So all y'all motherfuckers stay on notice, because I'm already triggered. I'm already triggered at the thought of you guys wanting to trigger me now that I've said that. God damn it. Okay. Number 2. And this one's crazy, but I like to aim high. You know what I mean? I personally feel like if you aim really, really high, even if you come up short, you've probably done better than you would have if you had aimed low, right? So I want to write 1,000 pages in 2024. 1,000 pages. Comic book script, novel, maybe. But I want to write 1,000 pages. Like, do 1,000 pages of dedicated writing to stories. Towards stories. Not YouTube scripts. I'm not going to count that. I want to write 1,000 pages in 2024. That is very intense, but it's like 80, 100 pages a month. It's like 20 pages a week or something like that. I think, if I'm doing the math correct on that, because, mostly I think that goal will drive me in a lot of situations to be like, okay, well, I could be doing this, that, second, and the third, but I'm trying to get to 1,000 pages. So I'm going to like really sit down and get to work and really do a lot of writing. So I did a lot of writing this year. I've been doing a lot of writing, and it feels really good to write. And so those are my 2 resolutions. That's what I'm working on, is be less combative, write 1,000 pages. And man, that's going to be crazy. I'm excited. I'm excited for 2024. Doing any prep for the next bull run in crypto, Josh? Or are you out? I'm mostly out. I think I still have some Bitcoin. But nah, man, I'm not really, it's funny. I definitely would consider myself like, capitalist, and, I have like ambition and all of these different things. But, I've been thinking a lot about like what the world's going to be like in the next 3 to 5 years. And, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not as interested in, let's just say I'm not as interested in crypto and things of that nature anymore. I actually think we might be moving into a post-labor world. Money might not matter as much. You know what I mean? So it's a weird time. I feel like a lot of things are going to change in the next couple of years. I think a lot of people might not, adjust to these changes immediately. Yeah, I personally no, I'm not really interested in, the crypto investment kind of a thing. Not really into it. Don't really care. I don't think money's going to matter much in 5 years, to be honest with you. It's going to matter a lot in the next couple of years, probably. But I'd say within 5 years, money doesn't really matter that much. That's an outlandish prediction. But that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of what I think. Anybody else got any cool resolutions before we get into all of this crazy information? I got a list here. And I checked it twice. Rage, Josh, be aggressive. Oh, don't worry. I'm sure we'll get there. You should do a page number divided by 52 weeks versus the whole number like 1,000. What? 1,000 is a great number, man. Come on. I can't believe it's going to be 2015 in 3 days. Wait, what? Could not watch Andor and say we did. Could not watch Andor and say we did. Wait, what? Good morning, everyone, says Evan A. Presents. What's up, man? Good to see you over on Twitch. You should commit to blowing your nose and not sniffing so much, especially after each point. I'll consider it. Make the Josh coin? Yeah. Yeah. Let's make the Josh coin. Let's do it. You know what? I take it all back. Let's form the ICO. Let's get crypto going back strong. I'm sure we'll crack the code. I'm sure we'll get rich quick. Technology can see everybody's money now and track it. It could actually lead to optimization. Yeah, maybe. Echo Disney Plus rewrites and delays. What? What the hell? I'll be back in 5 years to say that you're wrong. Hey, maybe I will be wrong. I don't know, man. I think this genie doesn't go back in the bottle. I think this might be the genie. But we'll see. People with money won't let that happen. People with money won't let that happen. Well, let's just say I disagree. Let's just say I disagree. But, without getting too lost in the weeds, that's a whole can of worms. That's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother channel. That's a whole nother frequency. I'm not so sure about that. Money won't matter in 5 years. Are you serious? Yeah, no, I'm serious. That's what I think. Yeah, it might still matter, but it's not going to matter the same way it does right now. You know, what will then? I mean, God damn it, guys. This is the maybe I shouldn't have even said it, but yeah, we can't. I mean. That is a stream for a different time, man. That's a stream for a different time. But I guess just I'm not thinking about that as much. I'm not like what I mean is I'm not thinking about how to get in and have all of this capital and like all that. My feelings have shifted a little bit, and I'm thinking about other things. That's all. Oh, that's all. Den of Sniffies. One of my favorite Josh moments this year was when he said he had the list of all the things good about Star Wars this year, and it was a blank sheet of paper. That was pretty funny, yeah. You should start a BBS based on crypto. That's a great idea. That's actually, you know what? I'll take that under advisement. Optimize for global sustainability, which is why money might not matter as much as health. Yeah, interesting. We need, what's this? We need Josh Coin to defeat the Federal Reserve. Oh, okay. So you're trying to get me all the way in trouble. All the way in trouble. I'll say one thing. I'll say one thing on this because it seems like there's some curiosity peaked in the chat. The next monetary system and the social contract in a post-labor world will be very different. I still believe there will be people that have capital and have resources and, have things like that. But nobody really knows what system will work. But if there's far less need for consumption and if there's no need for labor, it's going to be different. So, maybe you have some form of like a sort of co-oping or like a DAO, right? Like a decentralized thing that you kind of get to bet on. You know what I mean? With resources that you accumulated before or with resources that are distributed for participating in a system. So, I think, what are we going to do in a post-labor world? Play games, gamble, and pursue excellence. That's what I think we'll do. That's the TLDR. Yeah. Actors and money are not needed. Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. Socialism is the way to go. I don't think socialism is the way to go. The big problem with socialism and communism is centralized control, centralized planning. It's just bad, and I think at the end of the day, it allows too much control. It's like a slippery slope to tyranny, basically. It's like, once you nationalize or put the control of things in the hands of a few people, that just from an intellectual perspective gives people control over you. So it's not going to be like that, but it'll be a hybrid system. It'll be a hybrid system that allows autonomy, free will, choices. It'll still allow you to make bets and to be rewarded or hurt based on the bets that you make. It'll be some kind of a system like that. That's probably what I think it's going to be. Anyways, guys, holy crap. Can we talk about the nerdy shit that we're here for? Oh my goodness. Can we do our thing? I'm still waiting on the MOM stream/video. The only problem with that is that I watched Multiverse of Madness again and it's not a masterpiece, but I don't want to talk about it. It's still really good, but it's not a masterpiece. Okay, anyway. Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Maybe we should start with Adam Driver. So, Mr. Adam Driver made some comments recently, okay? And apparently, Adam Driver not coming back to Star Wars. Oh, man, that's kind of a bummer, dude. To be honest with you, like, it's a bummer. I also understand it. I mean, how could you not? Just looking at what Lucasfilm and Star Wars is doing, Adam Driver says not coming back to the Star Wars franchise. So let's take a look at what he actually said here. And hang on, I gotta move myself back over here. I gotta do a thing like this, and then I gotta bada boom, and then I gotta bada bing, wha bam. There you go. Okay, so check this out. It's crazy. This is over on MB Max Blitz. I don't know what that is. Weird. But regardless, here's what it says here. Adam Driver, who portrayed Kylo Ren in the Star Wars sequels, revealed he is not returning to the franchise. In a Smartless podcast, Driver confirms he won't play Kylo Ren again, stating his character story is done. He said, "They're doing stuff, but not with me. I'm not doing any more." Okay, so yeah, again, kind of a bummer. I'm of the mind that having Kylo Ren or Ben Solo in this Rey movie in some way could definitely help, might actually be the only thing that interests me. And so it's a kind of a bummer, again, to hear that Adam Driver is not going to return. Now, it is possible that he is lying. That is absolutely possible. Perhaps it's some big twist, some big thing going on. Maybe he's pulling in Andrew Garfield. He's the werewolf, and he's denying it. That could be. I wonder what you guys think about that, chat. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't return. I believe in this podcast, he also slightly takes a lot of shots at Disney and the Star Wars thing. And he said, for instance, it was the first job he had ever taken that he didn't read the scripts for, which is interesting. But again, they didn't even have scripts back then. I think they were working on some stuff with Michael Arndt. He wanted to take years and fully develop the story, and Disney said, we don't need a good story, we need it in 2015. You know what I mean? And the rest is history. But nonetheless, kind of a bummer that we are not going to get Adam Driver. I wonder, chat, do you think that he's lying, or do you think that he's being honest? Let me know what you think about that. Now, there are long-standing rumors, a lot of them brought to you by me, about Disney's plans with Adam Driver. I had heard years ago that Disney was getting like some spec scripts done to just get different ideas, to basically farm different ideas for how they could bring Adam Driver back. Okay, a lot of speculation out there in the fandom that is still going on. So maybe that is still going on. And again, they're just hiding it. They want it to be this big reveal. But I also find it kind of weird, right? Like they just bring Daisy back. They literally bring her out on the stage at Celebration. And they don't even have a script. They had just go home Rogered Lindelof and were remaking it just because they got Daisy back. So it's like, it's weird, right? Like if that's the mentality and they're just like dangle the actor key in front of the fandom, perhaps they should just do that with Adam Driver. I got to tell you, for me personally, I think the movie would get a lot more attention and be more successful if they just brought Adam Driver back and they just told us. Don't be mysterious about it. Just tell us he's coming back. You don't have to tell us how. That could be the driving interest of the film. That could be the driving interest of the movie, is like, how is Ben Solo coming back? You know? So it's kind of interesting looking at the chat. A lot of you guys think he's lying. Some of you guys think he's being honest here. Wow, that's pretty wild, right? We've kind of gotten into this place where with so many different actors lying about this sort of stuff that, yeah, it seems like not a lot of faith left in how these actors actually go about saying these sort of things. It is interesting that he's addressing it like this. They are doing stuff. Like he said, Lucasfilm is doing stuff. And according to him, not doing it with him, which is quite interesting. Chat, what do you guys agree, by the way, that getting Driver back would actually help the movie quite a bit? Just yes or no. Like, let me know in the chat. It's obvious, right, that bringing Adam Driver back would be very good for the movie. Like, I don't know if anybody would deny that, right? Yeah, I think that is personally obvious. Another thing kind of connected to this story that I guess we could get into is the Rey conversation. You know, the conversation about Rey that, is it continuing? Yes. Is it going to continue all the way up to the movie? Yes. Is it going to be toxic? Yes. And to me, this is part of the reason why I can't believe Lucasfilm is making this movie. Okay? So they seem to have the wherewithal and the understanding that they don't want to make another Rian Johnson movie, right? They've kind of been keeping him at arm's length, not really doing much with him. And I think the logic there is like, this is the guy that made the most divisive Star Wars movie of all time, this huge turning point, a lot of drama associated with him. And so, like, the mentality is, if we make the Rian Johnson stuff, the conversation isn't going to be about, oh, I wonder what he's going to do, or this is so exciting for Star Wars, or all of that. The conversation is going to be, they're doing The Last Jedi again. I hate the guy that made that. It's going to be super toxic and horrible, right? So it's like the same thing. I don't understand why they're making the Rey movie. And we've hit that point again within the timeline, right? A lot of this is cyclical. The Star Wars fandom is an Ouroboros, a snake eating its own tail. Both sides of the fandom are absolutely horrible. Everybody's confused, toxic, and terrible. It's just what it is. But we've reached that part of the cycle again where everybody's trying to act like the people that don't like Rey are a minority of, like, toxic people. I don't know if you've seen this. I've witnessed it on social media over the past couple of days. I was even watching the Hot Mic podcast with Roka and Snyder last night, and Roka like went off on some guy that was saying like, yo, make that Rey movie go into oblivion, and like Roka's just like all triggered and like, all these like talking points, and he's like arguing about how Rey is like a good character, or rather the people that don't like Rey are toxic or whatever. I kind of chimed in myself and was like, nah, dude, fuck that movie, like send that shit to oblivion. And so we've reached this point where once again, here we are, and I don't think anybody denies that the conversations around this movie and about Rey are going to be incredibly toxic for the next how many ever years until they make the film. That's pretty undeniable, right, chat? It's going to be toxic. But I think what like drives me nuts is this fighting and this debate about Rey. Okay? Like, I think, just objectively looking out at the Star Wars fandom and just looking at the performance of the sequel trilogy, Rey was a divisive character. I would argue Rey is not a good character. I would make that argument. That's not a good character. Didn't go through real struggle, wasn't properly developed, was treated with kid gloves. Horrible. Okay? Bad character. You can like Rey, that's totally fine. But the conversation always turns into like, man, that's a loud minority, or you're the minority of fans. Like, everybody's trying to gaslight each other into not just saying what is so obviously the truth. There are people that like Rey. There are people that don't like Rey. That's a divisive character. And no matter what movie you make, if you make another movie about a divisive character, it's going to bring with it horrible conversations. And it's like, I don't even hate Rey like that. Like, I just think she's not a great character, right? But this idea that everybody that hates Rey is like sexist or toxic or whatever, that's just as toxic. So it's like when people get that triggered, like I'm watching Roka like lose his fucking mind because this guy's like, yeah, no, Rey should go to oblivion. And Roka's like, she was 26-year-old, only acted in this thing about that. Brother, it don't fucking matter, homie. It don't fucking matter. People don't like Rey. Take a goddamn step back. People don't like Rey. Like, a lot of motherfuckers don't like Rey. So, to me, the people that are really to blame here, it's Lucasfilm. It's Lucasfilm. Because Lucasfilm, I mean, like, I just don't get, like, Lucasfilm walks into the room and people are, like, raging. It's like that scene in Community where Donald Glover walks in and everything's on fire and he's holding the pizzas. Like, that's what it is. And then Lucasfilm's like, I think a couple of more years of this would be great. Let's bring Daisy Ridley back. Like, it feels like some kind of sick fucking joke. I'm not, like I said, I don't even hate Rey. I hate the conversations around Rey more than I hate the Rey character. And it's like, literally, Lucasfilm's like, sign us up for 3 more years of that. We'll deflect and call all the people that don't like it sexist, horrible, toxic, troll, incel people. And we'll just keep it moving. Like, does anybody, like, am I crazy or is that what's going on? Like, am I crazy or is that what's going on, dude? And it's like, everybody's like, oh man, Star Wars fans, so toxic. Oh, Star Wars fans, so horrible. Star Wars, you know, this, that, second, and third. Maybe Disney just took a beloved franchise, disappointed fans for years and years, created characters that are bad, acted like it wasn't their fault, and the fan base is just divided. Like, how is that not obviously what happened? You know? So it's great. Hey, Across the Stars, it's good to see you. By the way, I wanted to mention this before. Across the Stars got me some incredible gifts. A lifelike Babu Frick, which is somewhere out there, and some other really fantastic stuff. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. Like, I appreciate that. It's good to see you in the tower. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's Star Wars has this thing, and then there are people out there that are like so toxically positive, right? These toxic positivity people, they're horrible. Like, they're horrible. The toxic negative people, they're horrible too. You know, nobody can fucking get along. That's just what it is. So why not just, like, avoid all of that? Like, how is it not obviously the move to just go into the future, create something new with less baggage, and create something that more fans would appreciate and get down with? Like, I still, to this day, cannot quite understand the logic of making the Rey movie. Don't understand it. And if you think I'm toxic for thinking that, holy shit, you're soft as Sherman. You're just soft. You're a soft person. That's okay. I don't hate you, but it is what it is. You're soft as fuck, dude. Like, you can't even just admit that, yeah, shit's just divisive. Like, it's just divisive. And by doing it, by making the movie, it's a dumb move. Not because all those people are right, But because all those people aren't going anywhere, and they're still going to dig their heels in and bitch and moan about Rey for the next couple of years. Like, are you having a good fucking time? Here we go. By the way, it's not 2024 yet, so we're not ruining, the thing. But I would even ask these people, right? These toxic positive fans. I'll be like, you having a good time talking about Rey on the internet right now? Are you having a good time? Like, are you enjoying yourself? Is this the party that you wanted to go to? That party was thrown by Lucasfilm. We didn't need this party. We could have thrown a different party under a different tent with new characters. That's what it could have been. So it's like, man, it's a frustrating thing. And, to take it back to Adam Driver, right? And to just, bring it home, bring the point home. Unbelievable to me that they wouldn't recognize that Ben Solo Kylo, best part of the sequel trilogy, and that they needed him back. They needed him back. They need him back. So if they're really going to do a Rey movie without Kylo at all, maybe without John Boyega, because it seems like John Boyega is all the way burnt, all the way out. Wow, we're in for an incredible couple of years. And I just look, gonna like I said, gonna try to be less combative about it. I'm just gonna try to tell this side, I understand where you're coming from, and you suck. And this side, hey, I understand where you're coming from. You suck just as much. You two deserve each other. Please shut the fuck up. And by the way. All those motherfuckers are going to go into the theater. They're all going to go see this movie. Or maybe they won't. What does Star Wars do if they release this movie and it does Miss Marvel numbers? What do you think Star Wars does at that point? What do you think the plan is at that point? For Star Wars. I don't really know. So that's the first topic of today, and buckle up because we've got a lot more to get into. But we can stop for a second, and a couple of you can tell me I'm right. A couple of you can call me toxic. We could do that usual song and dance, and then we can kind of keep it moving. So thoughts, chat. What do you think? Thoughts, chat. It's one thing that people hate a franchise, but at this point, people don't even care, which is way worse. Yeah, I agree. Unleash the rage, Josh. I don't know if I have too much rage left when it comes to Star Wars, bruh. How do you rehab the Rey character? Better question. Why rehab the Rey character? Why? Why would you do that? Another 7-year break? Yeah, maybe. I don't think it'll flop, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you would believe there'd be a lot of people that would go watch Star Wars in the theater almost no matter what. But I think Disney took what was just people being frustrated, and they've somehow managed to turn it into a good bit of people actively rooting against them. I mean, I've never seen anything like this, I think a lot of the anti-woke people are just as crazy, but you can't deny they're out there, they're talking, they're in force, and they ain't seeing Disney shit. Disney just lost $1.3 billion in a single year in the box office. Disney is... how silly does Disney have to be that they've taken something that could have just been people frustrated and made a fucking movement out of it. They allowed that shit to happen. So there's an entire movement that's working against Disney. And so far, I mean, it's clearly put a dent. I don't know if it's the whole picture, but it is clearly a part of the picture as to why they are failing. Jesus Christ. Rey could be cool if she isn't a Mary Sue. She needs challenges. I agree with you, but it's also 12 years too late. Maybe 20. Doesn't matter. Because Could they redeem the Rey character in the movie? Absolutely. It's still a bad idea. Like, it's just still a bad idea. Thoughts on Daisy Ridley's acting? Do you guys remember the stories of when JJ first started rolling cameras on TFA? Anybody remember the stories of like JJ Abrams basically being like, "Can you fucking act?" and Daisy Ridley like crying and going off the set? Anybody remember those stories? Anybody? The stories from the set were like, have you guys ever seen that movie? It was a Coen Brothers film. I think it was called Hail Caesar. There's a part in that movie where Ray Fiennes is playing a director, and he's trying to get this like, I think it was played by Zac Efron, maybe. He's trying to get this actor that's like this Southern twang kind of cowboy actor to deliver this line in this certain way. And he's like, "Oh, but it were so simple." And the guy's like, "Oh, but it were so simple," like that over and over again. Hilarious scene. I imagine that's probably what it's like directing Daisy Ridley. No, I don't think she's a good actress. That's okay. A lot of actors that aren't great that are in big franchises. That's fine. It's the director's job to pull the performance out of her. But no, I don't think she's a good actress. I haven't really seen her in much else, though, to be fair. So maybe she's doing great. I don't know. She's a looker. She is certainly very attractive. I wouldn't deny it. Wouldn't deny it. Okay, so that's the Adam Driver news of it all. You know, I kind of wanted to also take a temperature of where all of these franchises are at. But, I mean, I don't think we really need to do that with Star Wars. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, you think Star Wars doing good? You think Star Wars real good? Never heard of those stories? Oh, I remember it. Look it up. I'm sure you could find it. Star Wars actress Daisy Ridley reveals pretty horrid first days on The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens made her think, "I can't do this." Yeah, you gotta like look into it. But yeah, dude, apparently like JJ was like losing his mind and was like, "What?" But I think she actually did kind of pull it together, because I don't think she's like terrible in those movies. I just don't think she has like a lot of raw acting talent. Certainly not to the degree of Adam Driver. You know what I mean? Certainly not. So yeah, we could probably just move on. By the way, on 2020 or on Monday's stream, we're gonna do the 2024 look ahead. I want to talk about the best case scenario, worst case scenario for each project that's coming out, and kind of give my take on like how it's all going to be doing, right? So yeah, that's just kind of where we're at with Star Wars. Wanted to address it. Craziness going on with Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, all the fun, and the fandom doing what it does. Okay. Should we talk a little DC? Should we dare talk a little DC? Should we evoke the spirit of James Gunn? Say his name 3 times in the mirror and, spin around, and he'll pop up to tell you you're wrong. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really like covering DC. Don't really like talking about a lot of the scoops and the things that are going on because of James Gunn. Now, a little bit of this, of course, is because of our checkered past together. But also, like, I just think he's so full of shit. I'm sorry, I do. You know, I was watching a little bit of Grace's stream from yesterday, right? And she brought up this really good point. It's like, it's so weird that some of the most reliable scoopers on the planet and even the Hollywood trades seem to be very accurate on reporting on every franchise that's out there except James Gunn's universe. Why does all of the scoops that are being debunked, why are the Hollywood trades being debunked, but only when it comes to James Gunn's universe? It's like, it's annoying. Like, the dude is so hyper focused on trying to stop scoops and all these different things out there that it's like, I just think it's stupid and annoying. So most recently, there was a big rumor and a scoop out there about the Batman 2. You know, things about Hush, Robin, some other things. I didn't even really look too far into it. But then, like, James Gunn just, like, debunks it all. It's, like, super weird. I don't know what that's about. I also feel the way in which that he communicates is really like specific and semantic. So he'll say things that are technically true, but also don't really give us a clear idea of what's really going on. So yeah, I find it to be pretty annoying. And one of the big questions that I think will have to do with DC is how many people are actually going to cover this stuff and how many people are actually going to, like, share these stories and speculation, because that's a part of what makes these things popular. That's a part of how the fandom engages with these things before they happen, is through, like, rumors, leaks, spoilers, and things of that nature. So yeah, just, I don't know. It's weird, right? Like, I don't feel really compelled to talk about this stuff at all. And yeah, so that's just kind of where I'm at with it. Now, another thing to kind of add to what's going on here is all of this conversation around Warner Brothers either merging or being sold. So there's this other big question of, like, is any of this stuff even going to happen? Like, I assume Superman Legacy will happen. I think that will be made, but I wouldn't count our chickens before they hatch, because I think there might be some new sort of corporate overlords in control of Warner Brothers before too long. So let's watch. There's like a 2-minute segment from Grace's stream yesterday where she talks about how she believes Warner Brothers will be sold or something to that effect. So let's check this out. Check this out.
I think that, I think what this tells you is that Warner Brothers is definitely going to be sold. David Zaslav's not allowed to do that until April 2024. That was part of the deal of acquiring Warner Brothers. He has to hold on to it until April 2024. But at that point, I think you can see, especially because he took this meeting, that he's going to sell it. I think that, I think what this tells you is that Warner Brothers.
Oh, it's only a 24-second. Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought this was like a couple of minutes where she kind of goes into it. Essentially, guys, like, what's going on here is there's all these rumors of merger talk, and it seems like they are trying to shop around and sell Warner Brothers. Like, that's David Zaslav's big to-do for the new year. That's probably his New Year's resolution. But I think, like she said, he has to hold on to it until 2024. So I think in 2024, there will be the ability for them to sell it or for them to merge it or something like that, right? And some people think that you could even see the DC assets be trimmed off of Warner Brothers, because unfortunately, I like Warner Brothers. I like the DC characters. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say I like Warner Brothers. I like the DC characters, but it's possible that they're not profitable. Like, I don't think DC Comics is doing too well. I think DC movies have been very bad as far as assets are concerned. So I think it's even possible that DC gets sold off to a different company, because then it would at least make them some money. Like, I don't even know. Like, is there anything DC right now that's, like, performing well. Like any DC show, any DC thing. Like, guys, is DC doing? Are they making money anywhere? Are they gaining ground in any single possible way? Like, I'm not really following DC all that closely, but I got to tell you, I don't think that they're doing well. I don't think they're doing well. Like, is there any, like, are they, like, am I missing something? Like, what's the smash hit, right? What's the thing that's holding DC up? I would argue the only thing, I like DC characters, but I won't see Aquaman. That's not true. I'll see Aquaman. I'll see it on streaming when it's free, or I guess at no additional cost. Yeah, Batman seems to be the only thing that's profitable over at DC. And that's kind of crazy because, like, Batman just continues to be a juggernaut. Like, Batman, I believe, is always in the top 50 comic books, graphic novels sold each and every year. Like, there's a lot of Batman that gets sold. Warner just hit it out of the park with Wonka. If you haven't seen it, see it. I've heard Wonka's good. I'm not really interested in it, but I heard it's good. I've heard it's actually doing kind of decently in the box office, but it's still probably going to lose money in the box office, right? So, yeah. I mean, I hope Gunn at least gets to make Superman Legacy. As much as I've, he and I obviously have our differences. I know he's a big comic book guy, and I know he really appreciates what comics have done in establishing these characters and in these worlds. It would be great if he was able to do something very cool with Superman Legacy. But I do think there's some serious potential for that universe to end pretty quickly, pretty prematurely. And I wonder what would you even do at that point, right? Like, if they sell it off, I mean, I guess we would just see how it would all go from there. But, this year for Warner Brothers, guys, is so crazy. I mean, Shazam 2. Horrible. Like, it performed so badly. The Flash was shockingly bad. One of the biggest bombs ever. Didn't even do well on digital. Nobody wants to watch that movie, dude. Like, nobody. Blue Beetle bombed big time. Big time. It had a lower budget, still bomb. Aquaman 2 currently bombing, gaining a little bit of traction overseas. But I mean, come on, man. I mean, Marvel had a bad year, but you look at the DC numbers and you're like, whoa. Like, whoa. That's pretty scary. So I guess we'll just see, right? Like, I guess we'll just see, what happens next year. I think for next year they've got Joker 2. Isn't that the only DC thing that comes out next year? Joker 2? And I mean, I'm not that excited for it. Yeah, it's the Joker the musical. Yeah. Joker was a masterpiece, though. Joker was good. Warner will only sell the comic license. The IP is still worth a lot, and Warner buying Paramount, not a merger as you think. So I don't think any of that's going to happen with Paramount. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think it's posturing. I think it's like the beginning signals of those sort of things, but I don't think Paramount's going to... I still think it'll probably be Universal that ends up buying them. Blue Beetle, top tier? Well, I'm glad you think so. It didn't really find an audience, as far as I understand it. So it was a big old failure. The Batman 2, I think the Batman 2 comes out in 2025, doesn't it? I don't think the Batman 2 comes out next year. The only Joker and Gaga character, no, it's a musical. Okay. Blue Beetle was fun, not great, but fun. That's cool. Baloney and Bloomberg disagree. Zazie remains the boss with Paramount. With Comcast put out to pasture, he doesn't want that. That's interesting. I could see that being a consideration. But I think that people like Zaslav like money a lot more than they like control. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he wants that. I kind of feel like he's had a bad time, and he wants to get the fuck out of Dodge. And I think securing some kind of huge... Because he would make so much money on a sale. Like, he would make so much money on a sale. And then he would get out of there. Is Batman still a fascist? I don't know. You'd have to ask George Lopez. I hear the doggos. That's actually not my dog. That's my neighbor's dog. But yeah, no, I hear him too. Let me guess. No nanotech actually helped Blue Beetle just a little bit? What? I have no idea what you mean. Zaslav strikes me as not caring what people think of him. I think everybody cares what people think of them. I think, like, even the people, like, there's some people that I think probably care way less, and maybe he's one of those people. I think there are people that are comfortable with people not liking them. But I think everybody cares what people think of them. The line wasn't a big deal in the movie and actually makes sense. It was taken out of context in the trailer. Wait a minute. Adam, wait a minute. Are you telling me that in a more or less harmless piece of dialogue that isn't really a representation of what the movie's about was taken out of context and weaponized on social media via the culture war? Wait a minute. Is that what you're saying to me? I just want to be clear. Is that what you're saying? Is that what happened? Then cut the fucking line. Why is it in the movie? You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Here we go. We're right back where we started. Maybe that's 100% true. Then be the adult in the room and cut the fucking line. If it doesn't matter, if it doesn't represent the movie, then cut the fucking line. Why do you have to put that line in there? Oh, let's blame all the people that we know are going to act in a certain way for acting in that certain way. It's stupid! It's fucking stupid! These people are so fucking stupid. Like, oh, man. This thing that really ain't what it is. Oh, dude, it was taken out of context and weaponized it, and it happened in this completely predictable way that we should have seen coming. Then fucking cut it out of the movie. Take it out of the fucking movie. I just spilled my water. So thanks, Adam. Thanks a lot, bud. Like, seriously, like, how is that of defense? How is that a defense? Like, and by the way, I'm not trying to jump on Adam here, but that's the Ouroboros of stupidity that is eating alive the brains of people. That's the Ouroboros of stupidity. This line didn't really matter. Why did people get triggered about it? Oh, well, then why is it in there? So the provocative line doesn't really have it doesn't really matter. Then cut it out of the movie. I see your point, yet I have an issue cutting things to please grifters. I don't think you're pleasing the grifters at all. Aaliyah, that's the Ouroboros. The grifters love that line was in there. The grifters, when they saw that line in the trailer, they were licking their lips. They were counting their AdSense before it even came in. It's exactly what they want. You're not doing what they like. That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. Everybody needs to stop being so silly. Let's cut it out to appease the grifters. The grifters would cry. They'd be fucking miserable. I'd be like, wait a minute, there's no, like, low-hanging fruit culture war clickbait that I can fucking grind out a couple more videos on? Holy shit. Everybody's silly and everything sucks. Okay, moving on. Let's move on to the next one. Marvel. Are you ready? Let's talk about Marvel. A lot of interesting things going on, man. A lot of interesting things going on. Like I said, I've done some videos on this. I have a couple pages of notes here. And so what I want to go over is basically, as far as I can tell, from all of the leaks, the rumors, the insiders, everybody that's talking on their 17 different accounts, the general consensus of what Marvel is doing, because they're making a lot of changes. A lot of changes. Okay? So the first thing we got to talk about is Kang the Conqueror. Y'all remember Kang? Do you guys remember Kang? Anybody in here remember Kang? So obviously, just a couple of weeks ago, Marvel parted ways with Jonathan Majors, okay? And ever since then, there's been a lot of questions, a lot of comments, a lot of reports, a lot of like people talking about what does that mean? What does that look like? What is Marvel going to do now with the Kang character? And so I wanted to kind of just give you, these are all rumors. Take it all with a grain of salt. We don't know for sure. Right now, Kevin Feige probably waking up every day, bashing his head against the whiteboard, trying to figure out exactly what he's going to do. So things could change. But so far as we understand it now, it seems like they are going away from the Kang character. Okay? Phrases like sweeping under the rug, are coming out there. And it seems like what is going to happen is you're going to go right to the Beyonder in Secret Wars Part 1, Avengers 5, the movie formerly known as the Kang Dynasty. Okay? So that's sort of the starting point on this, okay? Now, there's a couple of different things I want to say about this. And of course, I want to know what you guys think about this as well, right? But number one, this plan was likely already in place before the trial ended, before we got the verdict for Jonathan Majors, okay? There's evidence of this because you'll recall we were already hearing things about the Kang Dynasty not being the Kang Dynasty anymore. We were hearing stuff as early as first quarter of 2023 about Secret Wars being split into two parts. It's just too big of a movie. It has to have a sequel. There has to be a second part to it. There was a bunch of reporting that happened right before the Jonathan Majors trial ended. You know, the Variety article, Joanna Robinson, Daniel Rickman, like everybody chiming in on this. And so it seems like what was happening, guys, was Marvel was already moving away from the Kang Dynasty thing. They were going to move away from the Council of Kangs. They were instead going to go more or less right to the Beyonder for Secret Wars, okay? So that's why Jeff Loveness is taken off of that movie. That's why Joanna Robinson heard that he was taken off of the movie, because they are going away from the Kang story. So basically, as far as I understand it and what I think is going on, no more Kang. You won't even hear Kang mentioned until after the Beyonder destroys the entire multiverse, and then maybe we'll figure out that is essentially a Kang variant that is the Beyonder. Like, they're going to go that hard on it, meaning you won't even know that's Kang. I mean, we'll know, but most audiences won't even know that that's Kang. It'll be introduced as the Beyonder. I think they are now taking what was originally that plan and going even crazier with it, because, as I said before, Marvel was already planning that, but they were surprised at the verdict. They thought they'd be able to still have Jonathan Majors play the Beyonder. They thought we could kind of go away from the Kang stuff, but still use Majors, still use the Beyonder, still have all of this story that they had created pay off in some ways, right? But according to Daniel, they're delaying shooting the movie until late next year. They were going to start shooting early next year. Now they're going to delay it till late next year. So I think it's like this, guys. This is kind of the way I see it. Original plan, Council of Kangs, there'd be the villains, build up, Kang Dynasty. Plan since maybe last summer when the trial stuff was happening. No more Kang Dynasty. Let's just go right into Beyonder. To new plan and why they're shooting late next year. We need to do what we were going to do with this plan, but even harder. We need to make even more changes, distance ourselves from Kang even more, and obviously recast the role. So I think you'll see a recast of Kang, but it'll be the Beyonder for Avengers 5. That's the first part of this whole thing. And I want to stop for a second. And I want to see, what do you guys think of that? Like, what do you think so far? How does that make you feel? What do you think about that? Let me know. Let me know, chat. Tom Cruise as the Beyonder. I want Tom Cruise as evil Iron Man, so no, I can't do it. Doom Dynasty sounds better. Yeah, I'd love for them to do that, but they're just not going to do it. I think Feige probably saw a couple of my videos, and he's just bound and determined to not give me what I want. So Doctor Doom will not be taking over and becoming the big bad. I don't think that's the way they're going to do it. I do think Doctor Doom will have a lot to do on Secret Wars, though. And I think that people will be cheering for Doctor Doom, and it'll be really, really cool. So that's kind of what I think. Does the Beyonder run? What does that mean? A white Kang would be wild. Yes, a white Kang would be wild. A white actor playing a version of Kang that is now a totally separate entity because they've become the Beyonder, honestly, would also still be wild. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do either one of those things. I bet you'll get a black actor. I think, look, Denzel would be dope, man. Like, if we had, just think about this. If Denzel Washington was the Beyonder for 2 Secret Wars movies and then he was out, it's kind of lit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of lit. That would be crazy, and really, really cool. But regardless, I think they'll find somebody for it. Yeah. We just tear Loki down and Beyonder Loki Prime the villain? Nah, I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that. Now, there are some things weird about this that are being mentioned. Like, Alex Perez was talking about this thing that happened in the last Airbender cartoon where they build up this whole arc, or maybe it was Naruto, I forget. But there's this concept where they build up this entire arc and this villain, and then another villain reveals that they were the one actually pulling the strings and takes all the power, right? So they might do something like that with the Beyonder. Okay, now we're deep into speculation territory. Let me just tell you, this is speculation, but this is what I think that might mean, okay? I think we might get a multiversal group of villains established to sort of take the place of the Council of Kangs. Okay? And I think that group of multiversal villains, is going to sort of be like what they had in the Time Runs Out event. We've heard that the Black Priests are in Doctor Strange 3 connected to Clea. That really feels like that Jonathan Hickman Time Runs Out event. So I think you might get a group of villains that are trying to take over the multiverse, right? And you might just have it revealed that all of that stuff was actually just being controlled by the Beyonder. That the Beyonder, at the end of the day, was the person behind all of that sort of stuff. So that's kind of what I think might be going on. Alex Perez also said that it feels like other villains will be stepping up into that role to fill the void of the Council of Kangs. So that's a whole nother thing. I actually think that could be fire. It's also possible this is a version of another plan that was already kind of established. We had been hearing okay, Magneto, Ultron's coming back. Some of these villains are coming back, right? And it felt to me oh, what a great way to utilize the Council of Kangs. If you had the villains of all of the movies for the next several years be villains that were propped up by Kangs, that's a really interesting way to connect it all together. So maybe they're doing that now, but instead of connecting it to Kang, they're just going to connect it to the Beyonder, which would be interesting. I do think, guys, this is from some of the stuff that I've kind of heard behind the scenes, I do think the Beyonder will present himself before 616 is destroyed. I used to think the Beyonder would not really present himself until after all the multiverse was destroyed. I actually don't think that's what they're going to do. Maybe that's what the rewrites are as well. But I think you're going to get a whole bunch of Beyonder in Secret Wars. Whole bunch of Beyonder. It's even possible that in the second part of Secret Wars, you actually have the villains and the heroes teaming up to defeat the Beyonder, which would be kind of cool. Like, that would be kind of interesting. But yeah, so that's like another piece of the puzzle, but that's kind of where we're at with Kang. Like, that's the most recent rumors is like, okay, it seems like, yeah, they're totally going to go away from the Council of Kang stuff. They're not recasting for a bunch of variants. That's kind of done. That's probably like the Loki season 2 ending. Like, I don't know how many of you guys remember, but like Alex Perez was like talking about how the ending of Loki will hint at their solution for Kang. And that was that middle solution that we were just talking about. The middle solution was fast track Beyonder, cut out the Council of Kangs. That was the original plan. Seems like they've just taken that and kind of taken it a little bit further now that they've parted ways completely with Majors. So that's kind of where we're at with Kang. Really curious and definitely want to know what you guys think about that. I actually think it's cool. I actually think it could work. And so I think that'll be good. But I am curious as to what you guys think. Can we just start X-Men stuff right now? Well, actually, that's next up on my list is X-Men stuff. So we'll talk about that in just a second here. Not even addressing the Council of Kangs. Love it. They implied TVA took care of them. Yeah, that's kind of what I think is going on there. Yeah. Beyonder post-credit scene in Deadpool 3. That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of fun. Won't sell? I don't know. I think, look, in some weird way, Marvel's actually positioned to be able to overcome these obstacles, partially because they've been so hesitant to put in all the dope shit that they now have the license for. A la the X-Men, a la Doctor Doom, a la all of these crazy X-Men villains, Apocalypse, all these different things, right? They've been super reluctant to utilize any of that. Well, now they can throw it all in and kind of like use all that juice early to kind of, help us get over the Kang stuff. I think it actually could work. I just want good movies. I feel like our plan's always better than what actually happens. I unfortunately agree with you. There have been rare exceptions in the past couple of years in like Phase 4 and 5. Like I would see Shang-Chi, for me, Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man No Way Home. These are, and Loki season 2's ending. These are like rare examples of like, wow, like they still got it. And Guardians 3 maybe. They can really execute. But surely there's been a lot of goobly glob over the past couple of years. Like, absolutely, there's a lot of goobly glob, They need the Beyonder to bring in Defender Beyonder lore, reading to the Celestials in the Eternity War. Yeah, something like that could absolutely work as well. Yeah, I think that is kind of the track that I'm on also. And I think Secret Wars is going to be really cool and sort of final in some ways, set up like a new multiverse, a rebooted MCU. But there's still going to be stuff they need to have as like lingering big threats and things that sort of drive it moving forward. So Shang-Chi needs a rewatch for me. It was pretty good. I really like that movie. Really like it. Where's all the juice? I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? Have you read the Invincible Spider-Man crossover? I have not, actually. No. Okay. So that'll wrap up us for the Kang stuff. Now let's talk a little bit about the X-Men. Crazy things being said about the X-Men, about Kevin Feige's plan for the X-Men. So, look, I've actually got a big video coming up about this probably tomorrow that's going to like kind of detail and break this whole thing down like that. But the sort of TLDR is, look, they've had plans for the X-Men. They have this thing, but they've been waiting. They wanted to wait until after Secret Wars, until after the reboot. The plan from Kevin Feige, and you'll remember we talked about this early in the year. We talked about this last year. We've been talking about that. It's been out there because they got the rights back to the X-Men in like 2019. And Feige was like, no, you're going to wait like 5 years. Let's let the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe degrade and audiences get incredibly fatigued, and then we'll do the X-Men is essentially what it felt like. The plan was use the Fox X-Men, redeem the Fox X-Men, then after Secret Wars, we have a final ending for the Fox X-Men. Then we move right into the rebooted MCU X-Men. Now, that plan has apparently changed. Or there are at least discussions, according to a lot of insiders and scoopers, that they're going to change that up, okay? So X-Men faster into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let me read this right here, okay? And again, this is in the big video that I'm doing, but it says right here. This is from Alex Perez in the Cosmic Circus. We can confirm from our sources that there have been discussions about mutants having a more pronounced role in the upcoming phase of the the multiverse saga than initially anticipated. That's what I was just talking about. They were going to wait, right? This is in hopes of establishing mutants in a more meaningful way on Earth 616, the actual MCU Earth, before the conclusion of the multiverse saga. Some ideas include doing a Disney Plus series, maybe doing like a What If series where they focus on individual X-Men. They've thought about doing a movie for the X-Men within 616. And then it says here, according to one source, another idea that's been tossed around involves an Avengers vs. X-Men film set between the members of 616 X-Men and Avengers. However, it's still early to discuss as the X-Men have not really made their way into the 616 universe just yet. So that's kind of wild. I mean, I guess first thing, thoughts, chat? Like, what do you think? Bringing in X-Men early? What do you think? Good idea? Bad idea? Seeming desperate? What do you think? What do you think? Ooh, Common Giant says, painting Lionel Johnson for 40K while watching you. Keep up the good work. For the Lion and for the Emperor. Hell yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm going to try to play some Warhammer over the weekend. I'm really excited. I have a lot of stuff to paint up too, man. And I want to do videos too. Lot going on. Time to break glass in case of emergency. Yeah, so, I mean, I have two basic thoughts about this. Number one, yes, that sounds good. Number two, why did it take this long? Why did it take this long? And look, we talked about this before. This is another thing that I put into the big video. The perfect example of this is the Marvels. Okay? If the post-credit scene of the Marvels was the first scene of that movie, and the whole movie was about an X-Men universe coming into our universe and the Marvels are the front line of defense, oh my God, bro. You're talking about $1 billion movie. You're talking about $1 billion movie and people getting incredibly excited. I think people would have really liked that. But they didn't. They knew it was dope and they sort of hung it out there like a carrot. They thought it was a carrot that was enticing enough to get you to go watch a goobly glob movie that wasn't made for most of you. And that didn't bear out, right? So it's like confusing. It's like, of course that's the move. It's been the move. You should have done that in 2020. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, why wouldn't you just immediately start putting X-Men all over the MCU? I think that was a huge mistake. So it's like, on the one hand, yes. On the other hand, why didn't you do this sooner? But look, if I take, some of the frustration and I kind of hold it back, if I just kind of try to be a little bit more optimistic with it, I think this is a great idea. I think it's a great idea. And I think it's crazy. It's almost like this. The X-Men could be the real replacement for Kang. Like, that's kind of what it is. Like, the X-Men and putting mutants into a bunch of projects on 616 could be like the real replacement for Kang because people will go nuts for it. I'm not saying it's going to be great because the past couple of years of Marvel haven't been great. I still believe they're capable of making great content. But there's trepidation there, for sure. But regardless of how it ends up, it will undeniably be more hyped and I think bring more fans than all the other stuff that they have going on right now. So that's kind of the first part of this. The second thing, and this I think would be the absolute winning move, is add the X-Men into all of the shit that you're remaking anyway. Okay? So, an example. Ironheart. Ironheart filmed in 2021, 2022. It wrapped a year ago in 2022, early 2022. They are literally reshooting the shit out of Ironheart next year. So instead of canceling it, and look, I'm going to be a little toxic about this because I think it's one of the stupidest things that FEIGE is currently doing. Instead of canceling it and just making a new show, he's going to keep it and basically shoot a whole new show and release it. I don't know how that makes sense. However, if they were to add some X-Men, some mutants into Ironheart, I instantly think you're going to get more people excited about the project, okay? Same thing with Captain America. Guys, they've delayed Captain America again, pushed it all the way into 2025. They're doing reshoots all year. They're doing rewrites right now. Guys, just put the X-Men in there. Stop being so stupid about this and just put the X-Men in there. In fact, I'd go hard on it, and I'd be like, this emerging mutant phenomenon is the driving force of the legislation that Thunderbolt Ross and blah, 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 blah. Because they were already going to trickle it in with Tiamat Island and with the adamantium and all that, right? So they were already kind of going to do that. Bro, just go for it. Phantom X. Put Phantom X in the movie. Put Madripoor in the movie with actual mutants this time, right? The Hand, dude. Like, and have friggin' Wolverine or, something about Wolverine in there. Like, just go crazy. You put the actual good stuff in there, and if you actually put the mutants into Captain America 4, I think that could be really interesting. And you could even start to set up, Sam Wilson as being sympathetic towards the mutants and being sort of against the government because the government wants to control them and all that sort of stuff. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff that you could do. So I would say just put the mutants into it. Another thing, Agatha, Coven of who gives a shit at this point, right? Stupid projects, stupid things, stupid faces, stupid people defending it, stupid. However, all of a sudden, it's actually about how the children are mutants, how Wanda's a mutant. Maybe you involve Magneto. All of a sudden, that stupid show becomes a lot more interesting and a lot more accessible to your average Marvel fan. Oh my God, bro. That's what they should do. So I don't know if they're going to do that, but it's interesting that they're having these conversations at a time when everything's being delayed and remade. I say just go for it, okay? Now, one other thing that we got to talk about here is Avengers versus X-Men. And I love Avengers vs. X-Men. I know it's not like the greatest comic book story ever told, and there was some whack stuff that happened, but I had a great time reading along with that event. I thought it was really cool. The tie-ins were really cool. There's a lot of really cool stuff with Avengers vs. X-Men. The Phoenix Five, dude, Namor with the Phoenix powers? Come on, man. There's a lot of really dope stuff in that run, right? But they don't have any fucking X-Men or any fucking Avengers in the MCU. Like, this should be a big lesson to them. Where they're like, you know what could be really cool is Avengers versus X-Men. And then they're like, wait. Unfortunately, nobody knows who the fuck the Avengers are. And we don't have any mutants besides Namor and Kamala Khan. That should be a wake-up call. Where they should be like, wow, so we have the status quo of an entire Marvel cinematic universe and nobody knows who the fucking Avengers are or the fucking X-Men. Wow, maybe we're real stupid dumb dummies that shouldn't even have a job anymore. Right? So it should be a wake-up call. But they also have the opportunity to fix that. Captain America 4 is a great place to get that started and to build up that kind of a conflict. I also think it's possible that they could do Avengers vs. X-Men with like the Fox X-Men and make it multiversal. I mean, that's kind of what the post-credit scene for the Marvels seems to set up. Right? That's kind of what it seems to set up. Some kind of Marvel multiversal conflict with the Avengers on one side and the X-Men on the other side. That sounds absolutely fantastic. Feige, get your house in order and fix these problems. And you actually do have some good ideas. I think it could be really good. So I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic with a touch of toxicity. You know what I mean? I would love to know what you guys think about that, though. What do you think? Chat, what do you think? Pivot! My recommendation for nerds is to invest in anime in 2024. It's true. Anime is kind of killing it right now. I'm having a lot of fun watching anime. I'm reading a lot of manga. Tore through another volume of Fire Punch last night. So good. Feige is evil. I don't think Feige is evil, but I do think he is messing up. I'm glad I have Bleach and One Piece. God damn it, chat. That sells. Marvel would have somehow go from the worst business plan of all time to the best of all time. Yeah, it's true. Do it. Do it now. Yeah, I agree. I'm not watching Echo, Josh. Hey, I get it. I'm going to give it a chance, but I don't expect to... I don't expect that I'll like it. Yeah. Why is he messing up, though? What happened? I mean, that's the greatest question of our age, right? I think it's several factors. I mean... okay, so it's a multi-headed hydra of problems. Okay, number one, he was trying to make it about Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Captain Marvel. Nobody likes Captain Marvel. Spider-Man got yanked back by Sony, and Chadwick Boseman passed, and Feige just decided not to recast. So that's like number one problem. Number two, they start a super ambitious workload with multiple movies and multiple shows a year, and it all gets kind of stopped in its tracks by a global pandemic, and they've kind of been scrambling from then. And then in the midst of that situation, they have the brilliant idea to make a single actor not only the villain of their saga, but multiple villains of their next saga, and he gets charged with domestic abuse or assault or whatever it was. So basically, like it's like a Lemony Snicket novel, a series of unfortunate events. But a leader's quality is not determined during time of sunshine and easygoing. A leader's quality should be measured in the difficult times. And he has been measured and found wanting. Now, can this guy turn it around? Yes, I believe so. But the story will be that he turned it around, not that he was flawless. You understand? So, what happened? A bunch of shit happened. And this guy didn't handle it well. Period. Like, that's what it is. At the end of the day. So, look, I'm still a Feige fan. I'm still a Marvel fan. But, I mean, how could you not have your faith shaken at least a little bit over the past couple of years? You know? So, crazy stuff. Any other thoughts on Avengers vs. X-Men or shifting into Avengers early? There's one other thing we got to talk about as far as the plan for Marvel. Then we'll get into Q&A. Maybe we'll do a couple call-ins. I don't know. I feel like you guys are just going to trigger me on these call-ins. Put Cage in the Avengers? Luke Cage? Is that what you're saying? Luke Cage is cool. Mistakes bring learning. Here's to the future. I hope you're right. But why did he make Professor Hulk and turn Thor into an idiot? You need them more than ever. I agree with you. I agree with that. Chapek took his power. No, he did not. That's cope. That's cope, bro. I don't think things will be that toxic with Rey. Too many have checked out to see it is a joke. Maybe. It's possible. It's possible. Thor coming back hard? Yes, I agree with you, yeah. I agree with that. I understand Coogler, etc., not wanting to emotionally handle Black Panther 2 without Chad, which is why it should have been delayed when they could. Yeah, no, I agree. They should have probably just delayed it and then regrouped. The bigger question is, what happened to Love and Thunder? That's a pretty bad one. How do we go from Ragnarok to that? Well, I think that movie was filming in the middle of the pandemic, and I think different people reacted to the lockdown and the pandemic in different ways. And from all reports and accounts, Taika's reaction was to be even more of a child than he usually is I can't imagine what the first cut of that movie looked like. Like, I want to know what Feige was thinking when he sat in and watched the first cut handed to him for Love and Thunder. Because I actually do believe that's the best version of the movie is the one we got, and it's horrible. Whatever he must have looked at first might have made him cry. Yeah, no. So, hey, Melissa, thanks so much. New Year to you and your family as well. Appreciate it. Okay. Last main topic of the day. Let's talk about story. So this is an interesting one, and this also comes from Alex Perez in the Cosmic Circus, and they're talking about how Marvel has a new plan, and they want to do quality over quantity. That's good to hear. And they're also trying to develop actual stories for like different corners of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Like storytelling 101, I can't believe they messed this up and they don't get it. But the plan is to focus on select characters. I think there's going to be less new MCU characters kind of introduced, especially in their own show or movie. And instead, we're going to focus on groups of characters and take them through different story arcs and trials to kind of develop them, right? So, you know, one of the big things is like Daredevil, Spider-Man 4, Captain America 4, and this whole Devil's Reign, Dark Avengers kind of thing that's happening with some of the villains taking control of certain positions. And so that's kind of one of them. They still want to do Midnight Suns, and they want to do that with Blade in some ways and have that be a big thing and have some events that, you know, lead to other things. There's a big multiversal story that's going to be told via different films. And that's probably going to resemble Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out. And so it seems like they've kind of committed to doing more of that stuff. Now, part of that also has to do with the Children's Crusade and Young Avengers, which I continue to think is an absolutely terrible idea. But look, if they can make that, like, if you can make the Young Avengers movie seem like a really big deal, maybe only spend $150 million on it and then see what it does, I don't think that's necessarily that bad. But I just don't see a big audience or a big desire from the fans to want to do that story and to want to keep it going. But that's a big part of the plan for them as well, is like developing these different stories for different groups and different corners of the universe. And this is probably something they should have really been thinking about a lot more. And it seems like they just kind of held in this like holding pattern while all sorts of chaos ensued around them. And basically the philosophy in Phase 4 was restrict the connections. Because everything was in flux, they decided to take a lot of things out and restrict the connections. And I kind of see that what they would like to do now is kind of really focus on the connections and really build up those connected stories amongst groups of characters to tell these different parts. That's good, right? Like, that's good. But I don't know. Like, how do you make sense of that with a lot of these other things, like bringing in X-Men early? Like, how is it the case that Marvel Studios is like, no, we don't want to make a Nova show because we'd rather just focus on the cosmic characters we already have, right? But then we want to bring in X-Men early. So unless you connect the mutants and the X-Men into some of these other established stories, I don't know how that's actually going to play out and work. I also think quality over quantity. I mean, we've been hearing that for years, right? Like, they've known this is a problem. And yet their solution has been, okay, take the projects that are not good, spend more money on them, and make them better. And that just hasn't worked. Like, Secret Invasion is the perfect example of this, right? More and more delays, more and more money. The budget balloons to like $215 million. plus for 6 episodes that people fucking hated. Like, people hated Secret Invasion. Go find somebody that likes Secret Invasion. They are super rare unicorn fans, right? And I think that did a lot more damage than good. So, you know, I say all of that to say, like, quality over quantity is a great philosophy, but the sort of asterisks that they have there of, well, we're not going to cancel anything. Like, Daniel's reporting that they're completely reimagining the Wonder Man movie after signing everybody. After no, you stop doing that. Like, so now they're just going to completely remake it, change it. The guys that signed up for it aren't even going to be making the same thing that they signed up for. It's crazy. So it's I think the most frustrating part of Marvel currently is that we're not going to see the changes for years. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I know some of you guys are excited for Echo, and it's cool that it's going to be more hardcore. I've heard it's horrible. I've heard Agatha is horrible. It's like, how many of these leftover projects that were just in the pipeline are we going to have to get through before we actually get to this quality over quantity situation, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a big part of their plan. It's something I wanted to talk about and give attention to, but it's like, damn, bro, like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say you want to do quality over quantity and yet push out a bunch of stuff that was literally created when that was not the goal. It was quantity over quality. So they just don't mix together. And I think it's a really bad move for them to just forge ahead with all of that stuff and try to make it work. But I do want to know what you guys think about it. Is there any part of that seems great? Is there any part of that seems awesome? What are your thoughts, chat? What do you think? Echo has Better Call Saul writers plus Daredevil writers. I don't see how it can be bad. So this was a show that was 6 episodes. It became 5 episodes. It was so bad when they screened it behind the scenes that they considered Batgirling it. Okay? I've heard the Daredevil fight is freaking awesome. But I've heard the show is terrible. And all over the place. A total hack job, a total edit, crazy chop up bullshit thing. Just like a lot of the other stuff we've seen over the past couple of years. All of the Marvel shows start out kind of interesting and leave you feeling unfulfilled. So this will probably just be more of that, but feel extra bad because we've been hearing it's shit for a year. And then it'll be shit, and then we'll kind of be like, why'd they do that? You know what I mean? So look, that's what I've heard. The review embargo lifts the day before all 5 episodes drop. So you won't know what other people think about it until the day before they all drop. Now do you understand? Now do you get it? Whew. Marvel needs shows that have seasons besides Loki. LOL. Yeah, maybe. Other than the Loki finale, bro, if they can do that once, they can do it a lot if they put their mind to it. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with that. She-Hulk is also a cameo machine. It's like an infinite court cases for supers. It's its own multiverse, equal creative freedom. Sure, yeah. That could have been what it was, yeah. Have I ever played Shadows of the Empire? Yeah, man, I like that. It was like Dash Rendar, right? Is that who it was, the main character? On the Outrider and all that? Dash Rendar. Is there an argument to be made that Marvel should have never dipped into the TV space? Absolutely. But it's kind of a moot point, right? Because they did. Echo started as 8 episodes. Holy shit, really? That's crazy. Look, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe all of the people that told me it was terrible are wrong. That could be. And that could happen. Mm-hmm. Would have been better off keeping the Netflix stuff canon. I agree with that, yeah. I agree with that. Echo trailer was good, though. The Echo trailer was good. I'm not going to deny that. I was really surprised. And I was actually hoping, hey, man, maybe they got it and they figured it out. And then a bunch of people told me it was horrible. Maybe he'll do the walk of shame again, Josh. Maybe I will. I mean, I've pretty much never been wrong before, you know? So I don't know if that'll happen. But yeah. They need to stop making shows and movies for people we don't care about. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, on the one hand, you could say, yeah, but they could make us care about the characters. I agree. That's kind of what they do in phase 1 and 2. But they're not doing that either. You know what I mean? So they're like literally not doing either one of them. This new What If chick is getting so much praise from toxic positive people that I already hate her. Well, that's unfortunate. I have not seen a single episode of What If season 2. I probably will eventually. I've actually heard it's really good. Like a lot of you guys were like, "Oh, dude, it's really good." But I'm on a little bit of a detox. I'm on a little bit of a Marvel detox, and it's just to kind of clear my head and kind of get ready for the new year. You know what I mean? So probably not going to watch What If for a long time. I will watch the first episode of Echo, and I will watch the second episode of Echo at least to see if it's decent. So if it's good, if Echo's good, I'll keep watching it. If it's bad, I'll drop it pretty quick. So we'll see. If they're going to do a show, make it like 10 episodes. 6 episode is just an unedited movie. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. Season 2 is good. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard a lot of people like season 2. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's get into Q&A. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll do some call-ins. We'll see. This entertainment industry that created so many fantasy adventures we all know and love has been mirrored a lot of what is broken in our society, which is the philosophical underpinning that is, bro, what? What are you talking about, man? All right, ladies and gentlemen. What If Season 3 trailer is out? Oh, okay. Let's get into the Q's and the A's here. So I'll go over the member chats, the super chats. We'll hang out on the chat a little bit, and then we're probably going to get out of here. So I'm going to call it early. Daniel O, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers, man. Purple Funk says 2 years with the best community a nerd could ask for. Here's to a new year full of great nerdy content, great laughs, and the BBLs for everyone. Hell yeah, man. No, I think we're going to, either way, like, look, I think next year could be difficult. Could be difficult as far as for Star Wars fans and Marvel fans. But I promise that it's going to be dope for the Nerd Avengers. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to learn about a bunch of cool nerdy stuff. We're going to have a bunch of cool experiences together. So a lot of my energy lately, instead of covering Marvel, has been thinking about that. Like, what do we do next year? You know? Yeah. Love that Paul just re-uploaded the Season 3 trailer, LOL. Oh, is that what he did? Shit, man. Times is hard out there, you know? H. Chris says, I just got the 7 retro Star Wars packs pack for the Switch for Christmas. I'll be playing KOTOR for the first time in the new year. Happy holidays. Dude, that's dope. That is really cool. I wonder how those play on the Switch, but that is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Captain Zigit says all the tribulations of 2023 for nerdy stuff still had a great year. Looking forward to 2024 and my birthday next Friday. Big 32. Holy cow, man. Thank you for all the love and all the support. Hope you have a good birthday. Remind me next Friday. And we'll give you a little shout out and get you some birthday love. But, yeah. Alex says, first live since July. Been on Team Rewatch since then. Hope all is well. Thanks, man. Yeah, all is well. I mean, like I said, it's a weird year, but honestly, Had a pretty good year, and I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm feeling pretty good. So can't really complain. I hope you're doing well as well. Vito says, I am Lord Vito. Bow before thee. Wait, I thought you were not Lord Vito, but now you are Lord Vito? Are you back to being Lord Vito? Darth Rebu, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers. Mr. JB, gifting 5 memberships. Holy crap. Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot. Igor Jaeger Divination. I have left my job today. Starting much better position on Tuesday. Taking today to get new things to start at life as a new, bettered man. Nice, man. Change can be good. It's scary, but change can be good. So I'm happy for you, and I hope the new job is awesome. Perez says, I got crap to deal with at work. I'll catch up on the replay, but I hope all the Nerd Vengers have a good last stream of the year. Happy New Year to you and the fam. Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Like I said, been a year, but generally good. You know what I mean? Generally good. Let's see here. Benjamin says, Kathleen Kennedy, you should have allowed the planning for the entire sequel trilogy. This would have been avoided if you allowed that to happen. I do think Kathleen Kennedy has some culpability there, but I actually really think that's Bob Iger. I got to tell you, I really think that was Bob Iger. I think Bob Iger kind of was really the force behind that, which is kind of a shame, but yeah. Crimson Knight, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You are a Nerd Venger. Now, appreciate you. John Exler says, 2028 Marvel and Star Wars collab. Rey and Captain Marvel team up to take on multiverse female Vader and female Thanos. Huge hit, of course. I mean, it sounds kind of fire. I'm not going to lie. Let's go. I mean, I'm sold. Like that sounds good. That sounds good to me. Taylor White says, lack of creativity feels like a sign of a crumbling empire. You think the lackluster content is premeditated to make the headlining content pop? I don't know if I would say that, but I will say this, and this is going to trigger some of you guys, but it's absolutely true. Big franchises absolutely have bot farms from foreign powers that absolutely try to stir shit up. Okay? And some of you guys will be like, what? No, that sounds crazy. Blah, blah, blah. Nope, it's 100% true. I'm pretty sure it's documented, actually. So they'll literally go into Star Wars conversations and like rowl it up. Because what do they want? Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. And I think one of the things I find a little distasteful with some of the like anti-woke channels and like those kind of channels and stuff, like this is one of the reasons why I don't really watch that content and I don't really like that content, is because like at some level you have to understand that, and you're just participating in division and pissing people off and distracting people from actual issues. So it is kind of crazy, but that is absolutely happening. So the real funny thing, though, is how studios and people that are in control and executives, they don't really realize that either. So they're going to continue to do things that leave those kind of openings for that kind of division. Right? So it's like everybody's participating in very destructive conversations, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Donnie Snooks says, I didn't know Gunn did Scooby-Doo. Gotta give it to him for that. Dude, I give Gunn a lot of credit. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I try to keep it a buck, and I try to be fair. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm usually fair. James Gunn is a great filmmaker. Really creative guy. Like, I don't personally love his flavor. A lot of you guys really do. Like that slapstick, you know, it's not my thing. Like, I thought the Suicide Squad was really stupid. But Elisa loved it. A lot of you guys loved it. And I like his Guardians movies. His best one was with a co-writer, right? The first one. But still, like, you got to give James Gunn his props. Like, he's a good filmmaker. But as far as the president of an entire studio, man, I just do not think he's doing a good job. You know? So, like, I'll give Gunn a lot of credit for a lot of his stuff, but the way he interacts with fans, the way he's so petty, I mean, it's just not a good look, man. It's not a good look. John Exler says, A24 should buy the DC properties for their more commercial end and bring cinema back to superheroes. Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe. I'm not really into horror, so I don't watch a lot of A24, but I know a lot of you guys like that kind of stuff. It would be interesting for sure to see that kind of blending. I think DC just needs to be in the hands of people that really care about DC. Now, I do think Gunn is one of those people. But again, you know, he should just really stick to the creative side. Like, he should just stick to the creative side. There's just no reason for him to be out there, like, doing this stuff. Like, it's just weird, you know? Let's see here. Jack says, hey, Josh, I love the idea of doing read-alongs of comics with the Nerd Avengers. Feels like arrogance and ego is a big reason for the current state of Marvel. I don't think you can deny that. Like, obviously, hubris on Feige's part has played a role in some of this. For sure, right? But he is still the guy that basically produced and created the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So some of that is, like, deserved. The real question is, like, how does he respond from here, right? But yeah, as far as the comic book stuff, like, yeah, we're going to do some really cool stuff for the members. Like, I want you guys to feel like after each month or maybe after each year, like, wow, I'm a better nerd, more knowledgeable, more experienced, and have had more fun because I was a Nerd Avenger. Like, that's what I really want that. Like, it's not hyperbole. That's real talk. So I'm trying to kind of figure that out. Where I want you guys to feel like I literally be like in a conversation or something, and people would be like, "Wait, what? How do you know that?" Or "Wait, how are you so cultured when it comes to nerd shit?" Oh, I'm a Nerd Avenger. Like, I want those conversations. I want those conversations to be had. The Ellis Marcus says RDJ from Tropic Thunder as Kang saves Marvel. Yes. John Exler says Tom Cruise as Superior Iron Man would crush. Sort of like his character from Collateral, except Tony Stark. Dude, John, you see the vision, bro. You see the vision. Let's go. Kendall says they need Beyonder to bring in Defender Beyonder lore leading to the Celestial and Eternity War. Yeah, I think we're both kind of on this train of thought. And it would be fantastic to see. I just want it to make sense and feel like there's reason and rationale behind these things, right? So I hope that the Celestials and Eternity and the Beyond verse and all these things, I hope they all make sense. And I hope we're left fulfilled, right? So that's kind of important to me, so I agree with that. Common Giant again says, painting Lionel Johnson for 40K while watching. Keep up the great work for the Lion and for the Emperor. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. John Johnston says, not around much during the holiday, but hope everyone is doing well. Looking forward to a nerdy 2024 with my new badge next month. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Nerd Ventures for Life. Unity. Yeah, man. So first of all, really appreciate all the support. Really, really appreciate it. As far as Unity is concerned, I got the script to the team. I actually have to pay them today or tomorrow for that, and I literally keep looking at my email. I keep refreshing my email, hoping that the letterer has sent me the lettered pages. So far we haven't got it, so I really wanted to get it out to you guys before the end of the year. I don't think we're gonna be able to do that, but hopefully sometime next week we actually get the lettered pages. But I'm very excited for Unity, and I've been working on chapter 3, and it is dope as hell, man. It is dope as hell. So I'm really excited. C-Dub. Oh, shit. Here we go. Hang on. C-Dub says 42 months, baby. My God. That's a long time. Happy New Year to all the... Wait, what? Happy New Year to all and to the Avengers and Papa Josh. Can we close out with a AQ Aquaman 2 pitch meeting for today? It's amazing. Yeah, let's do it. We'll do that after the Q&A. We'll do that. Chillin says Echo used to be 8 episodes. That's bananas. Hope that's not true. Oh my God, I think it might be. Andre says 32 months, baby. Does this mean we are in a long-term relationship? I know marriages that held less time together. Much love. Love y'all, Nerd Avengers. Thanks, bro. Yeah, that is a heck of a commitment. Some of you guys have been around here for years. So I must be doing something right. Thanks. Appreciate you guys. I really do. Appreciate the support. Chillin says, I need 2024 to be better in literally all aspects. Well, I wouldn't say no to that. I wouldn't say no to that. Nah, you're toxic AF. That's why I watch you, clearly. Oh, shit. Okay, well, damn. Leon says, no. Let's talk about how Multiverse of Madness isn't a masterpiece. You can't just go over that and don't say that, Josh. Can't wait for the new year with everyone. Yeah. All right, let me just address this really quickly. I really like Multiverse of Madness. But the last time I watched it, which was recently, I had to admit I no longer consider it to be a masterpiece. And there are a few things going on in the movie that are a little weird. Like, you know the scene where Doctor Strange says, she took my slingy. And Wong's like, she took your slingy. And then they just awkwardly look at each other. I was like, well, this never really used to bother me, but not really a big fan. I also found that his wig was really bad and noticeable. I still really like the movie, and I think the movie is better than a lot of people give it credit for. You know, that horror element really does drive it. There's a lot of really exciting stuff that happens in it, but it's not a masterpiece. And I would not, I don't, moving on. Lion with the helmet or without? I wish I would have magnetized mine, but I like the helmet with the hood. But isn't there a version with his head in the hood? That's a pretty good one. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Eric says, Ahsoka season 1 or Loki season 2? Happy New Year's. Loki season 2. Because I like Ahsoka, but it finished so poorly, in my opinion. How many episodes was Ahsoka? Was it 8 episodes? I think it was 8, right? That episode 7 was so bad. I can't believe episode 7 was that bad, and episode 8 was kind of underwhelming. You know? So to go from that, like, episode 3, 4, 5, 6, I was like, wow, I was like, holy shit, we're cooking with gas. And then episode 7 was so bad. And episode 8 was pretty lackluster. And the opposite happens with Loki. Like, Loki wastes a lot of time, honestly, in the first part of it. But its final 2 episodes are unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I'd have to put Loki season 2 above Ahsoka season 1. Appreciate you though, bro. Axid says, Happy New Year. Here's to another year of nerd vengeance. Quick, someone say something to trigger Josh. Oh, don't worry. It'll happen, I'm sure. Tylito says, only be able to watch and wait, what? Only be able to watch the John Campea show for a whole year or watch Quantum Mania for a month straight. That's going to have to be John Campea all day. Keep up the great work, Josh. Quantum Mania, horrible. Quantum Mania, earth-shatteringly bad. So, yeah, I can't do it. Frostro Damas says, 3 years, nerdy bitches. Love it, love it, love it. Happy New Year to all my sisters and brethren. Hope everyone's year is fan-fucking-tastic. Well, there you go, man. Quote of the day. Holy shit. That's the last Multiverse of Madness super chat I say for the rest of the year. Haha, love busting your chops about it. Unity. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. No worries. Jared says, hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and has a Happy New Year. Need me some Avengers vs. X-Men. Jonathan Majors as Finn. Den of Goats for all time. Damn. Nice, man. I appreciate that. Should Jonathan Majors play John Boyega? Interesting. I say yes. Interesting. I like you face. That's why I'm here. Hey, thanks, pretty Nikki. Appreciate that. Quantum Mania better than the Marvels? No, I disagree. I think the Marvels is better than Quantum Mania. True story. My daughter got raised by ants last summer too and didn't make my appreciation love of Quantum Mania at all. LOL, they had a bug bomb. My daughter's house got raised by ants. I thought your daughter was like Mowgli, but like raised by ants. That would be pretty fascinating. Can you imagine a person being raised by ants? Interesting. John Boyega biopic. Yes, that would be great. Movie Buff says Hayden Christensen as Mr. Fantastic. I wouldn't hate it. I think Hayden Christensen should play the Silver Surfer. Guys, look at all these fucking people just arguing about... Jesus Christ, dude. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is so crazy. Like, you just talk about Rey, and then it's just like people just arguing in the comments. It's just so silly. It is so silly. Bro, it might not have been bland, but worse than the Marvels. That's just hating, fam. It's worse than the Marvels, man. That's the take. That's the take. Fight. I know, right? Okay, should we watch the Aquaman 2 pitch meeting? And then we call it a day? I'm sorry, guys. No call-ins. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. We'll do call-ins Tuesday. We'll do some call-ins Tuesday. Next Tuesday. All right, let's watch the Aquaman 2 pitch meeting. And then let's close it out. Let's call it a day. Let's call it a year. 2023. Okay. Let's go. I'm excited. All right, let's pause that. Let's do this. Hang on. Wait, what? Wait, what? The camera? Ain't no way, fam. We didn't do that long of a... It's only 2 hours. What the hell happened to that camera? And wait a minute. Why is this... What the fuck is happening here? What the fuck? What the fuck? Bro. What? Ain't no way, fam. Ain't no way. Hang on. I kind of like refuse to believe that the battery is like that. Like it should be good. What the fuck? Why am I so like opacity'd here? Why what the what? Okay, anyway, here we go.
So, you got that new movie for me?
Yes, sir, I do. So at the beginning of this movie, this guy keeps getting streams of pee in his mouth, right?
Oh, I think you might have the wrong building.
I mean, I don't think so, sir. Aquaman 2? Oh, really? Yeah, see, Aquaman has a kid now, and this baby keeps peeing in his mouth because, you know, being a dad is tough.
Okay.
And so at the end of the day, he enjoys a nice Guinness, the perfect beer for cool dads.
What are you talking about?
Well, I figure, you know, superhero fatigue seems to be a thing, so we gotta secure our bag.
Ah, you mean like switch to briefs?
No, just like super avert product placements.
Oh, even better.
Wait a minute. His kid's peeing in his mouth?
Better.
Yeah, so Aquaman washes down baby pee with some Guinness and then complains about how much he hates his job.
As the king of Atlantis?
Yeah, doesn't like it.
Wasn't the first movie about him kind of accepting his position as the king of Atlantis?
Yeah, doesn't like it.
All right.
But one day a bad guy is gonna start doing some bad stuff, so Aquaman's gotta step up.
Uh-oh, who's he gonna go up against this time? I mean, we had Black Manta in the first one.
Oh, you're gonna like this. We're gonna have him go up against Black Manta. Oh, yeah, again. Right, okay. But this time, Black Manta finds a magical trident and gets possessed by an evil spirit.
Whoa.
Sure, okay, that's slightly different. A little bit. So he starts going around the ocean, stealing a bunch of this stuff called orichalcum.
Uh-oh, sounds like a very scary brand of toothpaste.
No, it's actually this very powerful stuff that's also really bad for the planet.
Even scarier.
And one day he and his crew attack Atlantis to steal some of this stuff. So he's got a whole crew? How's he paying for all this? Hey, shut up, and so he's gonna be like,
Hey,
I'm gonna kill me a dead mermaid.
What?
And so yeah, this attack kind of springs Aquaman into action, and he starts doing cool action scenes for the rest of the movie.
Sick.
Yeah, he's gonna do the same yell as Goofy when he fights, which is maybe a cool thing to do when you're fighting.
It might be.
And he's gotta figure out how to stop this guy, because the whole planet's gonna be destroyed.
Oh boy, sounds like he needs to get the Justice League together.
Nope.
Why not?
Because?
Fair enough.
No, instead he goes to get his brother Orm. Remember Orm from the first movie?
He's from the first movie.
He is. So this is gonna be a buddy comedy now.
Sure, okay.
So eventually they're gonna get to where Black Manta is, and they find this trident, and Orm is gonna learn all about its history and whatnot.
How does he learn that?
But when you touch this thing, it turns you into an exposition machine.
Storytelling tridents are tight.
Nice.
Yeah, so he finds out that the spirit possessing Black Manta is called Kordax, and he was trapped using blood magic a long time ago by his brother King Atlan.
Blood magic's the bloodiest kind of magic.
And in
True.
order to free Kordax, Black Manta is gonna need some blood from one of Atlan's descendants, so you know, Aquaman and his family.
Wow, it's crazy that the guy that found this trident already had beef with the bloodline needed to bring this guy back from the dead.
Yeah, I wrote a crazy thing here.
Good, good.
So to get his hands on some of this royal blood, Black Manta kidnaps Aquaman's baby.
Oh, this guy's good. Babies are also filled with blood.
Yeah, that's a weird way to phrase that. Anyway, when Aquaman finds this out, he's gonna be like, no!
That makes sense.
So now they gotta
Yes.
go fight this bad guy and save a baby.
Very exciting.
So as they're doing that, Black Manta's gonna throw the magic trident at Mira, but Orm is gonna catch it, and so he gets possessed.
Or Norm.
And so now the evil spirit wants to use
Orm.
Orm to destroy the planet, but Aquaman puts a stop to that.
How?
The powers of forgiveness and brotherly love.
Oh, wow.
Aw, so then what happens?
Well, the evil spirit manages to get some of Aquaman's blood, so he gets released.
Uh-oh.
So Aquaman throws a trident at his freaking face, but he catches it.
Yikes, sounds like he's strong. It's gonna be tough to defeat him.
Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see, Aquaman's smart, so what he does is he throws another trident.
Whoa.
Yeah, that one works.
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
Double trident
So
time.
they save the planet, and Aquaman goes to Orm like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna put you back in jail. You're a good dude.
Nice.
Instead, I'm gonna tell everybody that you died, and you'll be forever exiled, and you can never return to the kingdom you love.
Oh, my God.
So that's a nice moment. And then Aquaman's gonna give a press conference.
About what?
Well, he's gonna kind of reveal to the Earth that they exist and say that Wakanda's gonna share their technology with everybody.
Did you say Wakanda?
And then he's gonna end the press
What?
conference by saying, I am Aquaman, and then we're done.
All right. That is exactly how
They
the
really
first
do a Black
Iron Man
Panther?
movie ended.
Yeah, great movie.
Didn't the world already know he was Aquaman?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
we could get weird, have some fun with this one. It's not like it's the end of the DCEU, right? It'd be pretty weird to end the DCEU the same way the MCU began.
Yeah, that would be weird, but I mean, I don't see the DCEU ending. Oh, also, there's gonna be a mid-credit scene where Orm eats a cockroach.
Can you imagine if that was the last ever scene in the DCEU?
That would be wild, but again, so much would have to go wrong for the DCEU to end on that note.
This one's my favorite. DC Studios has begun mapping its new 10-year plan, confirms James Gunn, November 11th, 2022. I wonder if that'll end up having a detrimental effect on all of the movies releasing from the studio that he's now in charge of. Wow, wouldn't that be something? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's been a year. You know, we've had our ups and downs. We've had our disagreements. We've laughed. We've cried. We've shit all over. No babies peed in our mouths. I'm ready for this motherfucking year to be over. Oh my gosh. I remember earlier, I was like, no, dude, like the 2022 was pretty good. But then, you know, the stream has made me realize that it really wasn't. It really wasn't that good. It really wasn't that good of a time. And I hope next year is much better. So that's where we're at. Happy New Year to the Nerd Avenger, says Mountain Drew. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It was fun here, though. It was fun. We did have a lot of fun. The community been through Bright Spot of 2023. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. I really appreciate it. Like I said, we'll do some call-ins on Tuesdays. And, you know, thank you. Just want to say thank you. You guys have been here. A lot of support. Just kind of keeps us going. Hey, Tosuke with the 5 gifted. I'm really, really happy. What happened to the prediction stream? We're going to do that on Monday instead now. So on Monday, I'll be going over all of 2024. And I want to just research it a little bit more and make it a little bit snappier, a little tighter. So we'll be going over that on Monday. Yeah. Much love, everybody. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being here all year long. Incredible amount of support and a lot of laughs and a lot of leaning on each other because things have been a little bit tough in more ways than one. So just want to say really appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you. Yeah, I see you, Twitch people. Much love. And I'll see you in the next video. How dare you, Fanjecture? How dare you? Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Leave. Excuse me. Another one in the books. Another year in the books. I couldn't do it without you guys. I'll literally be ripping my hair out. Why they do this? What happened to my Star Wars? But we'll get through it together. Together. Seriously appreciate you guys. I appreciate your attention. I appreciate the likes, the subscribes, the member chats, the super chats. I appreciate it all. Thank you very much. Video coming out tomorrow. And then I'll see you in 2024. Enjoy yourselves. Remember to open up your third eye. And wash out your stinky butt.